Hey, that ain't too awful, is it now? Maybe a little. Pretty good shine on that melon of mine. Got a new computer. I don't like it. I don't. I don't like it at all. I don't know how to bring this stuff up. Oh, that was quick. Oh, that was quick. It just keeps doing it. I don't know. It's like playing it back over and over and over and over and over and over. There's an echo, so it keeps playing it back. What the heck? That was weird. Sorry, guys. that was a little bit weird. I'll put this on so I keep the shine off your head. Let's go in here. Hey, Brian Smith, Nelson Sr., Saw Surgeon. Good to see you, buddy. Andrew Hughes, Jason Duche. Hopefully I said that right. Darwin Scott, Ernest Stevens, what's up? Wayne Tharp. Ernest will be up your way soon. We're going to try some king salmon fishing on Ontario here soon. Eli, how you doing? Zachary Gross, what's up? So, Scotty Rittenauer. David Deaton. So, Robert Kennedy, what's up, Robert? So we'll just take a second. And Chris Kaiser. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Richard Hutchins from Florida. What's up? Is it hot? Is all get out there? It's hot here. It's humid. It's sticky. You walk outside, you don't want to do a dang thing. So I guess that gets to the first part of the State of the Union is I don't have a job. So the last videos you saw was at my best friend's house. He had some storm damage from an ice storm late last winter. Took a bunch of bigger trees down, big canopy trees like hard maple and things. And I believe we got them all cleaned up. His property has some exceptional timber on it. Although all the cherries rotten, like it's all got the red rot clean. It's just garbage. It's a shame. The cherry should have been cut 20 years ago. It's just poor ground for cherry, but it does have some nice red oak and some nice white oak. There's some big red elm in the bottom. And what else was out there that was nice? Red and white. It was mostly red and white oak. So that's what you saw there. I didn't get video of too much of the cutting because the cleanup stuff, the blowdown stuff was just me shoving tops and things out of the way, making 2-3 cuts. It really wasn't nothing to see. And then a few trees that we dropped up by the house, I didn't really want to get his house in the video and everything. And I just didn't feel right doing that. So Mattawa, Ontario, Canada, from Nelson Senior Jenkin. New Hampshire, John Wharton or Worthen. So we got 39. So yeah, we finished that job, and now you can probably hear Fred crunching on a bottle over there. Sorry, he's got a whole basket of toys and he chews on empty water bottles. Little shit. But yeah, I finished that job and had nowhere else to go. Jersey Joshua, Allentown, PA. Looked at one job over in East Liverpool area. And I looked at this one and it just, some of the people involved with have had not good reputations in the past. I'm not saying they're not, they're better now, but I just figured it would be best to not get involved in that. I didn't want my name involved with somebody that it's just a bad situation. So I stepped away from that one. Wasn't a very big job, and it was a bad laying timber. It was a steep hillside that had pasture on the top and a road like down on the bottom of the power line, and a third of the bottom of the hill would have reached a road, all hanging out over the road. Nice timber, steep ground, but John Warren, how are you, buddy? Oh, Eli, just depends on how tough things get here. I might have to travel soon. But, so I passed that one up. It was, like I said, it was just not a good situation. David Deaton, absolutely I'll look at it. If you're in northern West Virginia, are you talking in the Panhandle, or are you talking up like down, we'll say, what's that, Morgantown area? Either way, just, I mean, this isn't something I normally do, but where'd it go? That's a bill, a trucking bill, actually. You don't need to see that. No one wants bills. So, David.
Are you doing what you don't normally do, get naked on camera?
What?
Nothing, just being porky.
Yeah, she's being porky over there, near Blacksville. We can look at it. Blacksville's down there for me. It just depends. Okay. All right. Well, David, I'll give you my email. And you can email me. So there you go, David. That's my email. You can email me. Okay. Same for you, Chris Kaiser. Email me, because if I'm slow, I don't know where you're at in Allegheny National Forest. I have a place in Tionesta, family camp I could stay, so if it's not horribly far from there, I believe we could get up there, and I think Lauren can work remotely from there, and that way we're not split up. I finally have this beautiful, wonderful person next to me. It sucks to have to stay away from home, so I'm trying to avoid that if I can. But Warren and Kinzu Dam area, that's an hour poke from Tionesta, but I mean, I could probably do it. There is some nice timber up there. Good for you for being able to cut it up there. Just email me, man. Get in touch with me. We'll figure out price and stuff. And if I'm free, like I know I'm gonna be down for a week, or I know I have a free week, we can arrange something. I can come up and do some hand cutting and whatnot. So, and David Deaton, email me, and we'll talk about that too. So the biggest problem now with going far as moving equipment, you're looking at anywhere from, so to give you a reference, I went roughly 20 miles with a bulldozer. Now there was 2 states of permits, so it went from Ohio to the bordering state, obviously. And I had 500 wrapped up in that for just 20 miles. Now, you ask, people are like, oh man, that's a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. It's $40 some a loaded mile or something. I can't remember what it come out to. But 300 of that is permits. So you have about a permitting company. The guy that did the hauling has a permitting company do the permits for the state. They're like a permitting broker or middleman. Matthew Teeple, what's up? And Nova Scotia, Canada. Thank you, Russell Bellevue. So what they do is they'll charge you okay, the permit's $100. The permit's $75 or $150, or it's $50 permit, we'll say. They charge you $100 to actually apply it and do the work. Here we got you the permit, but our time's $100. So that's how that works. And then you Paid the driver, I think, $100. I think he was $5 a mile. I paid the driver. I thought that was fair. You know, he was busy for about 3 hours just for the driver. That's not, and I had to pay for the truck on top of that. You know what I mean? So 20 miles. So you figure on average, you're anywhere between 5 and 8 a piece of equipment you move, unless you're moving it yourself. And I obviously don't have my own equipment. So that's the problem with moving equipment far. It's got to be a bigger job to move equipment far. Unless it's something small, you're just going to poke out some timber here and there. So I passed the one, and then I've just been calling and looking. There's 3 other companies that I talked to. The guy that I normally work for, Nate, so I was working with Nate. Nate's got a couple smaller ones he's finishing, and some of them are just far, just too damn far. Further than the ones that I cut before him before. Now, we ended up in Rogers, Ohio, which wasn't too far, so it wasn't bad. And so, you know, with the market was coming down, I said, hey, let's run off all your bigger jobs so you're not sitting on a amount of footage that you paid high for, you know, before the market drops too high. So we did that, you know, went about our business. And then I cut this one for my buddy because Rogers was kind of close to where I needed the dozer to be. And then the guy that I've worked for in the past all bunch just has not really bought any timber. He's finishing a really big job they were on. He has another one, but he has to wait till fuel comes down a little bit because the skids are too far. So either the market's got to come up a bunch, or for what's in there, and it's not quality stuff, and then or the fuel has to come down, or they both have to give a little bit. So that's totally understandable. Steve, what's up, buddy? Man, John, that's pretty good, buddy. Old timer. Yeah, it sounds about right. So anyways, and he just hasn't got any other jobs. And with the market, I mean, I don't blame people for being tiptoeing right now. For, you know, you don't want to get too much bought up. And you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. The hard thing about buying timber right now is everybody still has, landowners still have the mindset of last year's prices. Like, timber's worth a lot of money. So you say you go in, just say you go into a piece of property, and for whatever species it is, you used to be able to offer them 30 cents a foot average. Neil Wiley, what's up, buddy? And that timber last year that you were able to offer 30 cents average, I'm just saying, we'll say everything in there's, you know, just soft maple or something or whatever, just a middle of the road wood, and of middle of the road quality too. You were able to offer 30 cents last year. Now this year, or this time, like now, you can only offer 10 cents, you know. So you go to that person and they're like, well, you know, I want a price on my timber, and you offer them, you know, you give them a number and they just look at you like, how dare you? It's like, man, it ain't there. You know, the market is down, fuel is up. I'll tell you what's a real problem is finding a truck to haul logs. Finding guys that want to jump in a truck to drive. I got real lucky on the one I did for my friend to clean up. That truck you saw in that video, that's Nate's, the friend of mine I worked for, and I was really happy that he was able, things worked out to where he was able to take the time to come grab 3 loads off that job. Well, 2.5. So, Matt Teeple's got a comment down here. He says he's cutting white oak veneer, getting 45, so that's $4.50 a board foot, for a company called Consdan out of Virginia. They have 2 West Virginia yards tool. That's good for you. Good, man. Trucking sucks, man. It ain't no fun. And no, I mean, this is going to become a real problem. a real problem. I mean, it already is a problem, but it's becoming more of a real problem. So I think I picked up a job, supposed to get some equipment moved. It was a job that was being cut back in February. And then as it got into March, it got too wet, so the company in there had to move, and the guy that was cutting it ran into some hard times on something. I forget what happened. And they need to get it finished. It was bought by a mill that I've sold plenty of logs to. They're pretty decent people. I've never had any quarrels with them. And they're like, hey, we got to get finished by the end of August. There's only about 10 acres of stuff that needs left cut. And it just so happened to be a property that I grew up hunting my whole life. It's a family friend of ours. And from younger years, when I was younger, my brother worked with the fella. And he's older, he's retired now. So they went through a forester, and it was, bid out. This company got it. So they got a hold of me and said, hey, you want to come finish this real quick? I called them, and they're like, yes, we have a job, and where it's at, it's not too horribly far. So just waiting to get moved there. They say it's about a week's worth of work. They're going to pay me to cut the rest of the timber that needs cut, skid it out, and then clean the job up. Backblade roads, water bars, all that bull mess. So Steve wants to know when the hunt is and where it is. Well, we're not going to give out dates because I never like to give out like when I'm not going to be home, especially on the internet. But I can tell you when that is. Just message me. But I will tell you it is in prime time, deer season time, and it is in Colorado.
Evil Colorado.
No, we're not going that far.
No.
Not giving up our secrets.
Oh my goodness.
No, it was a draw for mule deer, and it turned out that me and Lauren both drew. We were in a group, and her dad and his best friend happened to draw. So we're both going in two separate groups. We'll be staying in the same place, but we're going to be hunting, together. Like, we'll be in the same area, hunting, doing our own thing, whatever. So as of right now, we're hunting just mule deer. But if...
Us.
Yes.
Dad and Kenny are doing this.
But whatever, so there's the option where we're hunting, I think, is lower in the mountains. We're not way up high. So if they have really bad weather, there's a chance that elk could be pushed down into our area, if I'm not mistaken. And we can buy an elk tag over the counter. So we're just waiting to see what happens. So if we get there and it's like, hey, the weather's jamming them down, because elk are all weather driven. I've never elk hunted before, but if I had the opportunity for like $600-700 to buy a tag and go, I'm going to do it. And then we could
You can hunt small game.
small game, even during rifle season though.
I don't know about
I don't think you're allowed to.
bear.
Yeah, and bears.
Bear tag.
We can get a bear tag.
Around there.
So that's where we're at with that. Somebody got me a new rifle scope as a present, so I had to buy a rifle because I wasn't taking the scope off of one of my other rifles. I just had to get one to put this scope on. So sorry, she's making funnies over there. So I had to, I bought a Weatherby Mark V. It was used. And 7mm Rem mag, and we shot mine and hers, the one I bought her for Christmas tonight, and it puts a whooping on you.
What kind of scope is that?
A Swarovski scope, an expensive scope. So, what was my excuse? Eli says, "What's my excuse?" So Old Timer says, 7mm Rem mag is a serious round. Well, I have a 300 Weatherby mag. And the Weatherby's screaming even faster than that Rem. But I feel like that Vanguard, the Remington Weatherby Vanguard I have, the 300 Weatherby mag is it's a Weatherby Vanguard rifle. It's a lot heavier than the Mark V I bought, so. Oh yeah, Eli said that's the excuse I used for buying the gun. I didn't need it. Like, I feel like I probably should have saved that money, especially with the situation I'm in right now, but
Couldn't do it.
just couldn't do it, as she said. But So hopefully, let's get back to the work thing. I'm going to clean this job up for them. Hopefully that works out, and hopefully it leads to more work. Now, the other guy I used to work for said that he might have something coming up. I said, hey, at this point right now, because I need the money, I just need to keep it coming. This time of year is not the time of year to be sitting. It's one thing if you're sitting in February, March, wet seasons when it's, now is not it. But I kind of told everybody it's first come, first serve. It's the first person I can get work from. I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna, Now I did go down for Stump Jumper. He had that job down south. Kind of went through the job, checked to make sure there wasn't anything. I think there was 18 logs laying on the landing. I had to pull some out of a ditch crossing we had. They were just kind of like held up an embankment. And then pulled 3 stems out of there. And then there was a couple more trees to cut, but it wasn't enough to make a load of anything. And it wasn't of any quality, so we just decided leave that there because there's no sense in cutting it and then hauling it because it's real far from the mill. I mean, they're hauling over 100 miles to the mill, 120 some miles, I think. So it's like, you don't want to be sending partial loads at these costs. The King wants to know, how's the timber prices doing in Ohio? I mean, they're just dropping like everywhere else. I mean, certain stuff holds strong, but there's other stuff that's just not. A few good things, but I was hoping to have my sheet for the logs that I just sent, because I had a little bit of everything in there. And I was going to go through prices and just give you some comparisons, but I didn't get it. So I don't really kind of need it, but I don't know where it is. So I got one, but it was just a load of blocking. They just paid straight through on that. So, yeah, first come, first serve on the jobs. Timber prices are still falling. I think they're going to keep falling, like I said, for certain stuff. Seems like blocking's holding fairly decent. This wet weather will help that because, obviously people won't be able to hammer the wood out like they were. I know red oak is just in the dumper around here. I don't know about everybody else, but I mean, red oak is just, it's a shame what it is and what it isn't, I guess you should say. It's just not good. Red oak is just really in the poop house. You hate to see it. Cherry's actually doing better than it right now. And the only reason I can think of that is because cherry is a paint grade wood. I know a local, I don't want to call it a sawmill, but a local producer of trim, doors, flooring, things like that, paint grade trims, things like that, was buying one common cherry, I think, because they could get it cheaper than poplar, and they were priming it for paint grade. So that tells you where it's at right now. Now I do believe poplar's come down enough to where you can start buying the poplar again for the paint grade. Soft maple was doing pretty good, and hard maple was doing good, but mills were very picky about taking that right now because it spoils so fast in the heat. That's a pretty good chunk, 1,000,000 feet, Steve. That's a good piece. Let's see, Hunt Outdoors, red oak at the mill I sell to in Mercer, Pennsylvania, dropped 10 cents across pretty much all grades. Yeah, that's about right. Hunt, I'd wonder what mill that is. We're probably talking about the same dang mills. Hunt Outdoors out of Mercer. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, I can't remember, that I send logs to periodically throughout whoever I'm cutting for in Mercer area. Mercer, Sharon, Pulaski, that area. Matt Teeple did pretty good on some. It's like white oak's holding really good. And I think a big reason for that is because all the, like the bourbon, like the stave market for whiskey barrels is hot right now. So you're getting a lot of the nicer logs going to that stave market. You know, there's a good demand for it. And I think white oak flooring right now is pretty hot, if I'm not mistaken. Around here it is, it seems like. Johnson's Land Management, what's up, buddy? Hunt Outdoors, I know, Braden, Mr. Byler. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. So it was 5 because I forgot about Braden. Right there outside of, no, he's right off the Grove City exit down there a little ways before the Pottery Barn or whatever that is. You make a left and go down in there. Yeah, chestnut oak makes good quarter sawn, man. I've always wondered for people that run a sawmill, if they buy chestnut oak at a lower price than white oak, they always did around here at least. I don't think you can use chestnut oak for a stave, but they'd buy it lower. But I wonder if once they saw it, if it's still sold as chestnut oak or if it's just sold as white oak. It looks exactly the same except that the medullary rays is what they're called. Those are those flakes in it when you quarter saw it, are really, really prominent in chestnut oak. It's so pretty. Gail Sweeney says hello from Arizona. They name it as white oak on my sheets now. Very nice. Very nice. Man, it's good. You guys are putting some good comments. I like this. I like to see what everybody's doing and how they're doing and what they're getting out. This is pretty neat. So, I'm trying to think of where I wanted to go with this. What? Oh, well, it's kind of a surprise for somebody, so I don't know if we can show.
Ross or Gwen is watching this. They gotta close their eyes.
They're not watching it. She's knitting cat.
Cat butt.
There's a tail, and the pink spots is Buckeye.
Tail and 2 little feet.
We have a weird sense of humor.
Good night, Hunt Outdoors. Steve wants to know if that's a Halloween costume for Fred. Nah, Steve, we're good. He's ugly enough already. He must have knew you were talking about him. He just jumped up at like full alert on the couch over there. I'm getting a stink eye.
What are you looking at?
Okay, so Dave Crable wants to know if there's any market for dead standing ash. You know, if it's sound, all our ash around here in southwestern PA, from like central, north to south, if you drew a line in the middle and then went over towards where like Indiana and you come down, it's mostly all too far gone. I found 1 or 2 live ones here and there, but I couldn't bring myself to cut them down. Because it's like if it's live and nothing chewed on it, there's a reason, and I feel like it should just stay to drop seeds. So I think I did find one on that jog for Dale down south this spring. Matter of fact, I know I did because I left it there. All I can say, Dave, is probably just blocking, you know, and it's going to be sold by weight, I guess, but it's got to be sound. You got to be careful because sometimes you send them dead logs, they don't go for that. But if it's good sound, I think you'll be just fine. I've sent it in for blocking. I still do if I find it sound, but I don't find it too often. And it's a shame. I've walked some jobs that have some absolute giants just standing there, you know, 4.5 foot at chest high diameter, not circumference, and they're just dead. They just look like dead totem poles. All the limbs are off. You know, if you bumped them with a machine, they'd come crashing down. "900 acres, I wouldn't know where to begin." Whew. On the first acre, good one. Peanut gallery. You know, old timer, curly soft maple. That is a good payer right there if you can find it, as long as it don't have worm. And even curly hard maple. See, I don't know. One mill preferred the curly soft maple, another one preferred the curly hard. And one job I cut for Nate, we found all kinds of curly maple on it. Yeah, John Warren, it's like, so in northern PA, when you get up into the big, like the Allegheny National Forest, like this other fellow was talking about and stuff, you find them here and there. You still find some good ones, and I think they cut quite a bit of ash out by Steve and Wade and them guys out there. And I think if you get up into New England regions, so I'd probably be northern New York, I bet you it's in New Hampshire, that area, New Hampshire, Vermont, probably in there. I bet you it's still good. I often wonder what the baseball bat companies are going to do when all the ash is gone, because I imagine that beetle will get it
We
somewhere.
had a lot of ash trees in Rhode Island.
Yeah?
They all died when the gypsy moths came through.
Is that what killed? That was red oak that they killed.
I thought it was the gypsy
No.
moths.
No, red oak
I
died.
know we had ash in Rhode Island.
Red and white was killed by the gypsy moth.
Was that what it was?
They just wiped. That's what wiped out Todd's place. That's a shame too.
I thought we had ash in Rhode Island. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be.
Steve says there's still a lot of ash out there by them. John Warren says there's a bunch in Iowa. And then, so Loggin' Daddy made a good comment. So they're starting to make it out of all hard maple now. And I wonder if there's any other kind of wood that they can make them out of that would hold together. Like, you know, you wouldn't think, you know, you get like some hickory would probably be too hard, but you can cut some hickory that it's like pig nut hickory is not ridiculous. When I say pig nut, that's a smooth bark hickory tree, or the genus is like mocker nut hickory, I think it's called. That handle video I did, that was not a shagbark hickory tree. Shagbark is like cutting rocks. You cut pig nut, it cuts pretty nice. When you split it for firewood, it splits nice. I wonder why you couldn't make a bat out of that. It seems like the density and like the growth rings and the porous parts of it are really close to the ash, but I'm sure they making bats out of birch now. Huh. I didn't know that. I wonder if they make them out of beech. It would make a difference. All our beech is dying too. Yes, David, I believe that's the same place that we sent our bat stuff to. There's Ohio Logger. That's Nate, the guy that hauled my logs. He says his family makes baseball bats out of hard maple. You know, I think if you could find hornbeam, I think that's the tree I cut down in my yard. You find some of that, it looks a lot like ash too.
There's funny colors with them.
Yeah, it's kind of pea, white, cream, yellow. It's not real. I don't imagine it would take a stain real well. I got that wedge sitting out on the porch. Loggin' Daddy is a bamboo composite. Don't worry, pretty soon they'll be making baseball bats out of rainbow or butterfly forks, because it's better for the environment. Hold on, I'll get this wedge. What are you hand leaking? You weren't eating. No, you can't eat this. Fred wants to chew on this.
Don't ruin that.
I know. So I think this is hornbeam. You see that bark? I believe that's what they called it. I think it was too when I looked it up. But that was a tree we cut over the garden. But if you look, I don't know, well, you guys can see at the end, it's hard to tell. The density is pretty close, similar to ash. It looks a lot like ash. Oh, Matt Teeple said he crushed it with a black gum. So, yeah, there's that. Bunyan will be coming up soon. If I can raise some money, and this was an idea I had, I need to raise the money for it because I don't really have it for myself right now. I can kick some of it in, but not all of it. What I wanted to do for Bunyan, and I have to talk to Vernon for this, so I'll give you guys an idea on what you think about it. I'd like to get a saw to raffle off. You know, you come in, buy a ticket for, I don't know, somewhere between $5, $6, $7, $8, whatever it is, or whatever, you know what I mean? He's sniffing deer antlers now. He just took an interest in the deer antler box. You want one of them? So anyways, back to it. I want to get a saw and then, you know, have a raffle ticket for it. And then I can get some tickets printed or we can just buy those strip ones, but I think I should get something a little more official. And you'd have to be present to win, obviously. Or we could make it so if you're not. Yeah, I could probably ship that. I'll ship that. But get the saw and we'll have somebody kick a bar in, or I'll buy a bar or whatever and put a chain on it. We'll have it all set up, ready to go. And we'll raffle that off. So we'll have it there for Friday and for Saturday. And then we'll raffle it off like Saturday night or something. Yeah, but we got to get the saw first. This is just an idea. And I thought about maybe getting one of them. What's the Holtz Forma has that one that's the carbon fiber. They call it like the extreme duty now. They're like black and gray. Or we could try to get a 372, but they're $800 just for the power head, 8+. And then, you know, like still, that's just a whole nother animal. They cost way too much. So I thought about the knockoff one because it would be, or a knockoff Holtz Forma still one, just to keep it affordable on our end, whoever's got to eat the saw, and then whatever proceeds come out of the tickets, they go right to the Eastern Loggers. I thought that would be good. Logging Daddy on the Hackberry. Okay, hold on, I missed something. Did I miss something, Brian? Yeah, you know, hackberry. Got it confused with hornbeam. You're right. Hackberry. You guys are right. I'm sorry. My brain's mush. I've got a million things going in here and bouncing around. You know, it's tough when I don't have a physical outlet for my energy to like go work and run my ass off to calm my melon down. This is my worst enemy right here. Right inside this. You know, there's like 2 or 3 peanuts still rolling around in there, but boy, they cause me trouble. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so you guys remember that video of Nate's 585 that would not idle. He said the reason it wouldn't idle is because there's a plastic piece in the carburetor that melted. They replaced it with a brass one. It's all good now. Happy Camper, what's up? Old timer, I sure hope so, buddy. So that was an idea for that. We'll talk to Vernon, but I look forward to seeing everybody. Last year was a bad year to run around and get stuff off of people for the auction. We're going to try to do it this year. Nobody had anything last year. I don't think anybody was couldn't get nothing. I don't think anybody was very certain they were going to be allowed to do it.
Well, this Varna guy that normally has the most didn't have anything.
No, he didn't have. There was a Husqvarna guy dealer there that always had piles of oil, piles of shirts, piles of all kinds of crap.
It's
Saws.
the last year that it was.
Yeah, all he had was what was left over from the last time we had the Bunyan in 19, and it was he didn't have a lot. He couldn't get nothing. Let's see. Steve said he might come to the show. Not sure. See you, old timer. Let's see here. Take care of that.
How's your new camera? Still looks better?
What?
I said, how's your new camera? Does it look better?
What new camera?
On your computer.
I'm not. I use my phone.
Oh.
Use my phone. Okay. What's it? Sons, Pete. I'll call you tomorrow. MW Logging and Son says he's gonna help in. That would be cool. All right, buddy. If you and once again, if you don't get a hold of me, you can email me. Might have to pause that to read it. Hopefully, don't get no spam. I get enough as it is already, and then you can get in touch with me that way too. So some people got the number, and we'll go from there. But I mean, we'll figure the work situation out. It always comes around. Things go in phases. I just hate when it stops. Ray's Repair. Which one's Ray's Repair, Nate? Was that the one? I know it ain't Hilltop. Is that the one you took me to that time? It was way the hell out there. Middlefield. Okay. We'll see. I'd love to do a 372 because I like the 372. A lot of people do. They have good power to weight ratio. I like the RPMs on them. I'm not knocking Still. Still makes a quality product too. I just think it's a little too pricey. I think you're paying kind of for the name kind of deal. But hey, if it's what you like, it's what you use. I'm not going to knock that. You know, there could be a guy out there with a handsaw. If that's what he's comfortable cutting trees down with, go for it, dude. You know what I mean? Oh, a new endeavor we've had. So these will probably be, I'll probably make some of these, and Lauren will make some of these to put in for the auction whenever we decide to do that. And some people have given some stuff. Don't think that we haven't forgot about you. It's still sitting in the back room right back here, actually straight behind me. Josh from Ryan sent some stuff, and there was another fellow that sent some shirts too. But where we fish in Erie, we do a lot of drifting, and I make my own walleye harnesses, drifting harnesses, and tie them all, order beads, and you know, just kind of goof off. And we come up with some good colors and stuff. Well, there was a new bait shop started in Erie, PA. So if you're around the Erie, PA, and you're a fisherman, make sure you hit this place up. Fisherman's Haven. They got good worms.
And they're good people.
They're good people. They do it out of their like garage by their house. We'll give that again. We'll give them a quick plug. Make sure you told them you saw it here. Tell them Pete sent them.
Get the best worms.
Yeah. So we were getting worms from some of these other bait shops, and I don't know where they're getting them, but when we drift, we use a half a night crawler. So you like them big ones, you know. And everywhere up there has just been getting smaller and like tiny. They're not like night crawlers. They're like
They're
half the size of what they should be, in my opinion. But these people always have really good sized, you know, worms for a fair price too. They're like $1 a dozen cheaper than anywhere else. And so we told him about the harnesses, and he was like, he said,
He's been tying his own harnesses forever.
we just said this.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had a bunch left. I opened my fat mouth, remember?
We had a bunch left over, and he's like, well, why don't you tie some and we'll sell them in here? And I was like, well, I don't know. So no, long story short, we've got a whole pile of harnesses on the table here. We've been tying, our fingers hurt.
With
So,
real interesting names.
so, yeah, we've got real interesting names. So here, we'll give you an idea. This one's for like, here, they have these little, they call that a spinning glow. And that's for like when you're drifting really slow and you can't, you know, it's too slow for the blade to spin. These will spin. Plus they float to keep you up off the bottom out of the snags and gobies. And there you go. We call this one Pearl Necklace. And I got another one over here. We can show you this one. What's this? And we do some other fancier stuff. This one's Dirty Clown. I don't know why we called it that, but that's Dirty Clown. But we'll make some of those and throw them in there, I'm sure. We'll see how these sell. I don't know if anybody's... I think they're going to buy them because of the name, not because they work.
Well, hey, something about it.
Okay, Fire Captain Tom's coming in.
Good, we need somebody to participate.
He says my 372 is in the shop. I might have bumped it with my truck. Oh, and he also said some guy just caught a 40-pound king salmon out of Lake Michigan. That's a big sumbitch. We're going king salmon fishing, Tom, very soon. Once again, with the whole not letting people know when I'm not going to be home thing. But it's very soon. It's going to be
Send
in...
you pictures if we get in.
Yeah, it's going to be in Lake Ontario. Maybe next year we'll take a trip over to Michigan, but that's like 6 hours. Well, to Tom, it's a lot farther. So,
And I'd say they'd see video of us fishing, but it's normally pretty hectic, just walleye fishing. and everything.
yeah, I don't know if it'd be much action. We can try it. Take a lot of batteries. All right, MW, thank you. We'll hear from you. 40-pound king out of the Great Lakes is a thing now. It's like a big thing if you get one that big. It used to be, I remember when I first went to Ontario, Lake Ontario, this is up by Olcott, New York, we fished in the rivers. They used to have a thing called the 40-pounder club. So if you caught one, you got like a name on a wall or some shit, I don't know what it was. So Lake Ontario always had good forage base and they had big salmon, but now I think they're getting higher numbers of fish, so the fish are leveling off. And Michigan always had tons of fish, but smaller salmon. And I think it's kind of flip-flopping, so we'll see, I don't know. Drew Gordon's out. We'll talk to you, buddy, thank you. We're down to like 58. Hopefully you guys found something useful in this. If anything, yeah, it's just nice to hear from everybody. Hopefully you had a good laugh. I mean, if you can't laugh at a cat with a big butthole, what can you? Man, what was he doing? Oh, poor kitty. So, other than that, I don't think I got much more. You guys will see more videos. You'll know if I get a new job, so. Oh man, 47-pounder off the Michigan side of the lake. Wow. Yeah, Steve, give me a call sometime. We'll shoot the bull. How much has changed? It's hot. It's really hot here. Yep. Can't go. Yep, garden's doing decent. We had to eliminate a groundhog who ate the top off some beans. He had to go away. And the battle with the chipmunks is real. But I'm going to tie a few more harnesses and stay up late because I don't have to get up in the morning. So, all right, everybody. As always, don't let your meat loaf. Ooh, that's stuck on there. Don't. Nope. Hey, give it back. Sorry. Fred eats those.